morning, Nate. What's up with it, fam? Thank you for tuning in to BYOB, where we believe the Bible is basic instruction before leaving Earth. It's a book of principles, prophecies, promises, and plans that we must live our life by in order to walk our God purpose that He had destined for us since the beginning. We're excited about what God is doing. And we're in a new month, new series.
Squad goals.
Let's go. Squad goals.
Me and all my people.
Let's go. Yeah.
Where your people live?
Yeah. 2 or 3 walk together unless they agree. That's what we need. 2 or 3 can't walk together unless they agree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we need people that's in agreement with the plan that
God
has for us.
Talk about it.
Squad goals. Let's go. What do it mean, bro?
As y'all know, this whole BYOB is to navigate life together, right? Mm-hmm. And like squad goals, you're like, really? For a Bible study? Yeah, really. Mm-hmm. Because we need to see how the connections that we make and the friendships that we have, how they affect our lives, and how, although you might not have heard the voice of God to say, hey, that should be your friend. If your God talks to you that way, you know. But we still need to realize how the connections that we have, the relationships that we have, are predestined and they're purposeful. Yeah. So we want to dive into that because we're navigating life together.
What? Talk to us.
So, squad goals. We are talking about friendships and faith circles that help us flourish. Yeah. Because last month we were planted, not buried, right? We talked about our fruits. We talked about how our roots have to get the nourishment and all the things from the soil, and how we have to kind of stretch, and sometimes we go through things, yada, 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 right? Well, now we're building faith-centered relationships that help us to grow. It's a part of us being planted. And in growing in these faith-centered relationships, it's going to cause our roots to go even deeper. Right. Because like you said, how can two walk together if they're not in agreement, right? Yeah. So if we're in agreement and we're standing in faith together and we're believing together, we can make some things happen. So that's what we're going to talk about. So what I did, Proverbs 13 and 20 says in the NLT version, y'all, that I wrote it down. I typed it up. He who walks with the wise grows wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm.
Companion of fools.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
I mean,
says about a wise man on earth.
We have heard the saying, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah, that's that old school.
It just makes perfect sense. Like, I feel like old people pull that from that proverb. Hey, you hang with wise people, some of their wisdom might rub off on you. You hang with fools, though, you act like a fool. You know? So let's talk about what it means. This particular verse is about the power in who we surround ourselves with. A lot of the times, especially stemming off of some of the other topics that we talked about, a lot of the times we feel alienated or isolated, and we feel alone because we expect things to go a certain way, or we expect people to act and behave a certain way, or to do certain things, and when they don't, we put them off, not realizing that there's power in who we surround ourselves with. Something that I shared, this was a little while ago. I had a health scare, and in that health scare, I created me a faith circle. And in my faith circle were people that I trusted that would really pray for me, not just for my physical healing, but also pray that I had mental clarity and peace in my mind and in my spirit. Because a lot of the times, I feel like people die, not even from the disease, but from the anxiety and from the stress caused from knowing, something's going on, something's not right, depression, all of that.
Yeah.
So I needed a circle of people that were wise enough, spiritual enough to point out those things and pray for those specific things. So that's what we kind of want to talk about a little bit today. One of the stories that we all know about Ruth and Naomi.
Oh, talk about it.
No, you talk about
Talk
it.
about Ruth and
You
Naomi.
talk about Ruth and Naomi.
Hey, but just understand, like you said, it's important to have people around you that's solid, that understand the word, and then go away. You say faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word of God. And notice it didn't just say faith come by hearing the word of God, because faith come by hearing. Whatever it is that you hear, you could develop faith around. That's why you can walk.
It's not
you can,
just the black and white in the Bible.
That's why you can walk in the doctor's office feeling fine, get the bad news that you're dying, and people been dead in 3 days. Why? Because they faith wrapped around what that doctor said. Now, if you just think if you would have missed the appointment, would you have lived another 2 weeks? I used to think like this. What if that person would have called, hey, I got to reschedule the appointment? Would they have lived to the next appointment? But it's that how powerful that faith is. It's literally when they heard it, they believe that person in that white coat so much, so it don't matter what they feel in their body, they shift and move. And what if we were just that way when it comes to the things of God? Like, man, no, I know what I heard. I know what he told me. Regardless of what I see, this is happening. And that's how strong that faith is. So faith come by hearing. That's anything. And hearing come by the word of God. What he's saying is once you get to the place where you can hear the word, you're hearing differently because that's not just your
level of faith.
Yeah, you activate. And so when you deal with Ruth and Naomi, of course, Ruth and Naomi, understand God was moving and changing Ruth as it relates to what it is that their assignment was. She lose her sons. When she lose her sons, the daughter-in-law, what's wrong?
So this is, and I'm not trying to cut you off, right? But this would confuse me because I've heard the story of Ruth and Naomi since I was a kid, but I would always mix them up.
Right.
And when I was up last night looking through this, it dawned on me that the daughter-in-law has the old name. I would just say Ruth was the mama and Naomi was the daughter-in-law because, you know, the names were kind of old. That was me chasing a squirrel.
Yeah. But it do mess with you because of the name.
Just to kind of help because I cannot be the only person to mix up.
Yeah, because the name is gonna mess with you. But this how I try to remember. Everybody talk about Ruth and Boaz. So once you put them two together, you're like Boaz. Okay. So then Naomi, which is you would think would be the daughter, but it just goes to show their names and their names have meaning. But she lose her sons. One daughter-in-law go back to her people. The other daughter-in-law
lost her husband first.
She lost her husband.
Famine in the land.
So that's all provision, provider,
Famine
protection.
was in the land.
Start losing everything. It's a drop. Some say it was a tariff. What we going through?
It's crazy, and I reiterated famine was in the land because it's crazy how things in life happen. You don't know why they're happening.
Yeah.
You don't know why it is happening or while it is happening. You just know, oh my God, this thing is happening. She could not have fathomed, okay, I lose my husband. I'm losing my boys.
Yeah.
But also, like, you can't see what the end is going to be.
Yeah.
Why am I pointing that out? Because somebody right now, you can't see what the end is.
No, you're in it now.
You literally are struggling. You're having a hard time. Depression's trying to set in. Doubt is trying to set in. All of these things because you can't see what is to be.
Right.
Because right now just seems so detrimental.
Yeah, so that's why
but just like Ruth, all of that, she had to go through some loss. And I know that hurts. It hurts. And that's not something easy to get over. But she had to go through all of that, not just to bless her life, but to bless her daughter-in-law's life, so that when she's in her old age, she's going to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But she couldn't have seen that from the beginning.
Yeah, overflow, because
Boaz
is balling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so crazy. That's why my dad said like this, don't make a permanent decision based off of a temporary circumstance. Mm-hmm. That moment, I'm pretty sure I lost everything. Like I lost my spouse, I lost my kids that supposed to step up after their father leave to protect, to provide.
Now they gone.
And then you're in a Middle Eastern culture that all you have is that male seed to protect, to provide. I don't have that no more. She got to go back to her homeland. Then this girl talking about, my God will be your God. And where you go out to go, girl, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't got nothing for you to even go with me. But the fact that she was willing to recognize the God in, that's the first thing he said.
It's
Your
the
God
in me. Hey.
She knew even in this woman despair, it was goes to show you, you could be going through like crazy, but because God is on your side, somebody's still looking at you as an example. That's when we were talking about we learned to struggle gracefully. Yeah, like for some reason, God, even in the midst of you still moving, and where you moving, somebody else still desire to be connected to that. That's
you
crazy.
oftentimes say that God uses people to bless you, right? He don't have a magic wand, and he's not just sprinkle a little blessings over here, little blessings over there. But he does it through people, right? And hold on.
Ruth
Naomi. No, Ruth. See, I'm getting them mixed up again. Ruth had a person that was 10 toes deep. God was able to use this person to be a blessing to her for later in life, you know. Yeah. But I can imagine that while you're going through this transition, when she says, you know what, your people, my people, your God, my God, where you go, I go. When she said that, can you imagine the hope, the strength, the sense of peace, and the joy she may have felt in knowing that I won't be completely alone? Because you've lost everything, your husband, your kids, and your daughter-in-laws don't have to stay, but one chooses to stay and basically take on your burden. Yeah. To have someone in your corner that's going to support you, that's going to be a part of your faith circle, that's going to encourage you, that's going to uplift you. Come on. Nice. The strength that she had to have felt in that moment, even though the situation still may have looked a little murky, like, I don't see how we're going to get through this. But girl, you say you with me, by golly, we're going to make it through. Yeah. So man, life change. And then for somebody to see that, let me just go show you in the middle of your struggle, your light still ought to be shining. You know, even though it's a difficult moment, she still had to trust. Naomi is in a hard place, but Ruth recognized the God in her, but evidently what she saw. And that's what's good about seeing God do something. What's so good about the scriptures, it don't give you the details, so it leave a little room there that makes Naomi had to be the type of woman that she set such a godly example that whatever it is that she's showing, this girl didn't want to go back to where she came from. Wherever it is you going, I'm going with you, because all she knows is the blessing lies with her. And that's what is responsible for us, that our light should be so strong that even in dark moments, we talked about this, don't discount the darkness, that even in that moment, people will still see the light in us. Dark place, but I got the light. Yeah. So what we want to point out, for this week, is that the foundations of faithful friendship. Yeah. True friends are going to help each other flourish and stay strong. I can't have a friend to where when life hit me, my friend was like, oh, girl, I don't know what you're going to do. You should just give up and say, girl, move back home, girl. I mean, like, Yeah. In this season, in this space, in my life, I cannot have that. If you're trying to do better in your life, you're trying to go higher, go deeper, you got to surround yourself with people that are going to help you to flourish. Something that I like about Ruth and Naomi is that their relationship highlights loyalty. Mm-hmm. It highlights love. It highlights strength of their friendship and the support, and it encourages their faith. Right. God puts people in our lives that are going to do that for us. However, it's up to us to accept those people. And sometimes you have to see with your spiritual eye and not your natural eye, because you'll look at a person and you'll see what they have or do not have. You'll look at the person's demeanor or their past or whatever, and you'll dismiss that friendship when it could have blossomed into being something really beautiful. I think we all want someone who's loyal to the relationship, whatever type of relationship it is. We all want someone who is going to love us and have our back. You expect it to be your family, but sometimes it's not them. Sometimes it's someone that is put in your path or on your path, or a friend that acquaintance that becomes a friend. And I think we have to become okay with that, that picture of family, that picture of friendship that we are steadily creating and drafting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Very understand as a believer that's what we're walking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you call basically how you explain that. That's the discipleship process. I know the way we formatted in the church, Roman road to salvation, but honestly, it's what the scripture says. You have become a living epistle. Meaning somebody looking at you like the scriptures. They're walking through life, watching you, becoming a better woman because of Naomi. Ruth is developing into somebody who Boaz is going to look at and want simply because of what she learned and picked up from her. And that's what he's requiring us to be such a light that a person can mimic our lifestyle and become a better, productive person because of it.
You know, I like a good Sunday school lesson, right?
What'd you say? What's up?
And I really kind of wanted to
What?
get into how, like, not Naomi's lineage, but her. I couldn't say her husband's name.
Yeah.
And I was like, it looked like a.
Hey.
I was kind of tripping trying to pronounce the name, right? So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it alone. So I was trying to see if you would go.
You better use Google.
I was trying to see if you was gonna go
Deacon
through.
Google.
If you was gonna go through
Minister AI.
Golly, and say her husband's name and talk about the famine and why he died. And sometimes we're gonna have droughts and dry seasons in our lives, but the depth of one thing is also the promise of something else. So I thought we was gonna have a little Sunday school lesson and go through it. But I cannot say the name, right? But what I can do is talk about why the story of Ruth and Naomi matters. Yeah. It matters because it's about faithfulness. Ruth, yeah. Because I keep wanting to make Ruth be the mama. It's just the name, you know, it's kind of old, like. I just kind of want to make her be the mama. Yeah. But for Ruth to see so much God, so much strength, so much possibility in something that was so broken. Because even though Naomi may have felt, okay, this is she gonna fuck with me, and it provides a sense of strength and a little bit of peace. My reality is, my right now look a hot mess. But it was so much God and strength and possibility and resilience and perseverance and all the things within Naomi that Ruth was like, shoot, I done saw God work for her before.
Right.
So I know he'll do it again. I'm going to stick and stay.
Yeah.
I don't have a reason to. Like, if you look at our situation, I don't have a reason to stay, but I'm going to stick and stay because the God she served, he's real and he's doing big things.
Yeah.
So the faithfulness that she had, this is why this story matters. The love that she had for her mother-in-law, that's what we like to say, mother-in-law. A mother-in-law. The love that she had for her, like, ladies, you provided. When your husband was gone, when your sons were gone, like you kept pushing, and you showed me what it means to persevere and to push through. And we sing this song, Praise Your Way Through. You're showing me that. Or like you said, you are the living epistle for me right now. So there's a love and a bond here that's not going to be easily broken now. We're going to get it out the mud together.
Right.
We all need a friend in our corner, or we all should be that friend.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I want to say it. I want to say we should all be that friend, because we all want that friend, but we understand the law of reciprocity. We understand that what we sow, we shall also reap. So if that's the type of friend you want, you have to first be that kind of friend. If you don't have that kind of friend in your life, then you might want to check yourself first, because when you start looking and judging and saying, well, they don't do this and they don't do that, pointing fingers, you got to think. It's probably 5 more pointing at you.
Yeah.
Or they say when you point, you got 4 more pointing back, 3 more pointing back at you. You have to think like that. So evaluate yourself first to make sure that you are exhibiting these type of qualities in your relationships and in your friendships. If you want somebody that's faithful, first show yourself faithful.
Right.
You want somebody that's going to show and give love, then you got to first freely give love.
True.
Giving love means even when that person do something, say something I don't like, hurt my feelings, they mistreat me, I'm still going to show you love. I don't have to like what you did, but I love you anyway. And I can look past this because of the love that I have for you. So it shows faithfulness. Their relationship matters because it shows faithfulness, it shows love, and it shows God's provision.
Okay.
I should have said this the way in the beginning, but we talked about how she couldn't see past the darkness in a dark place. Have you ever been in a room so dark you put your hand in front of you and you can't see? She couldn't see past the darkness. But even in the darkness, God made provision.
True.
He already had touched Boaz's heart.
Yeah.
He already had equipped and prepared Ruth.
Yeah.
Provision was already made.
Already made.
But we can't see it when we're in the dark place. We just have to have faith that, you know what? If I keep pushing through, if I keep pressing my way, God is going to work it out. Mm-hmm. But I would like to say that sometimes, culturally speaking, it has been my experience that we put it all in God's hands, but we never do our part.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.
You can have faith all you want.
Come on now.
But if you're not working your faith, if you're not putting it to work, it's no good.
Come on, woman of God.
Stop playing.
Come on, love you.
Stop playing.
That the good book said faith without works is dead. In other words, there's not even no life in it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He can't even produce it. And the problem is with us, and like you said, culturally, when you start speaking to that, it's like a mindset of almost like I said that Jesus glitter. You know, something happened. And then, oh, Jesus, oh, and then, oh, and the thing is, it done got so point we jumping up, turning around, spinning and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with it. I want all that. Give me all that.
Yourself.
But then it's the practical application through that. Like you doing all that, but you ain't budgeting. You doing all that, but you ain't making no sacrifice, no cut. But you talking about financial increase. He's not gonna bless your foolishness. Like you haven't put no structure together. You ain't put nothing. If he cursed your fig tree for not being fruitful, you think he gonna bless you in your mess? You ain't doing right, mistreating people, and then you think you're speaking tongues, but you don't speak to people.
But we have realized,
so practical stuff.
We've experienced that sometimes God will bless you in your mess, but it be for the benefit of somebody else. Because you know people always watching.
Yeah, it's grace, grace and mercy for sure.
But that, like I said, that's what I'm gonna
sure.
say. But that's that grace and mercy being extended towards me.
We talking about blessing and favor. You know, it's there and it's meant.
The favor we want, that we're not gonna get when we being foolish.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. It's a different. I say this too. It's just like raising the kids, and this is my biggest thing. Pet peeve as a law enforcement officer. I never had a problem, even me with speeding tickets or somebody with no insurance, especially if a person dipped. Because we're learning when we pulling people over. When we pulling people over, if their car dipped, that means when they saw me, they hit the brake.
Right.
They at least acknowledge the presence of me. I like, oh man, let them slide. But somebody step on their gas, you ain't gonna even brake. You look at me and you ain't gonna brake. It's the blatant rebellion that you showing that's disrespectful. That's how we get in trouble with God. It's the blatant rebellion. Sometimes we can be out of bounds. Nobody living just perfect upright like that. We all got stuff we're working on. But it's the blatant respect where God and grace you and grace you and grace you. And now you playing with me. Like now you tempting God. Yeah, it said, shall we continue sin, that grace abound? This power. God forbid, like you tripping right now. Your action have got to the point that you really is past God's grace, you carrying on. And this is what we gotta be. When she saw Naomi's lifestyle, like, man, I know she in a bad place right now, but I know what's in her. Yeah. I know it's been. I don't know if it's her prayer life because the scriptures don't tell you. I don't know if she walking around the word, but whatever it is that she's seeing in her in a moment of grief, because you got to talk about her circumstance. She got to be grieving from a spouse. She got to be grieving from a mother point of view, but she ain't wavering.
On top of grief.
But she not wavering in her relationship with God because the woman acknowledged and say the number one reason why she going to follow you because of your God. That's the first thing. Then she started to list. So the first thing she acknowledged about her, she's a godly woman. And the question is for you that's watching today, do people see a godly man? Do people see a godly woman? Is looking at you through your lifestyle. Can they see the God in you? Even in a very, very difficult predicament.
When you're in that dark space,
bruh,
stay number 2.
It's light. see, like if I ever had to go through that, now she grieving too though. So we gonna
But she
overlook
lost
that.
her husband.
Ruth is grieving too, but in the midst of this grief, there's something about this woman going through grief versus what I didn't seen in the past. Yeah.
Pastor Kim said something today that really blessed me. She said that God said that, and I might be messing up, Pastor Kim, but you can get in the chat and you fix it. But she said that God said He allowed you to be broken so that the light could shine through.
Put cracks in.
Yeah, so we got cracks and we got some spaces.
Yeah. Broken
but
vessel.
even in them broken places, the light should still be shining through. That's exactly what Naomi did.
Yeah.
She was in that dark place, broken, because I can only imagine how broken you must feel to lose your life partner. Now you done lost y'all love trophies. Like, how much more broken can I be?
Yeah.
But the light was shining through so much till Naomi said, well, by golly.
Oh! What
Naomi
she said?
No, Ruth said, I keep messing up their name.
What is that?
Ruth
By
was
golly?
like, I know,
That's how they talking?
Ruth was like, your God, my God. That light has to be shining so bright and had her feeling so warm.
Man, Ruth must be light skinned, man.
But
It's
another
like
point that I wanted to point, I'm gonna stop saying by golly.
Man.
I'm probably not. Another point that I wanted to bring out though, because it was important to understand why the relationship between Ruth and Naomi matters and what it got to do with squad goals, since we were talking about it. Something that was very I can't think of the word. Important or that stood out to me was that Ruth was a foreigner. If you hadn't read the story, just by hearing us today, we should know she's a foreigner because she was like, your God is my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Most of the time, people within a certain community, they kind of have the same habits. They may have the same religion or whatever. But she said, your God is my God, meaning where she come from. They don't serve their God. The God that Naomi served, we don't have him over there.
Different experience.
Yes. So it confirms that she was a foreigner. Mm-hmm. This lets me know that God can use the most unlikely of people. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be the daughter or the son of a high priest or the king and the queen. I don't have to be somebody with a big name because God can use any of us at any time. He chose to use Ruth. Yeah. A person not from the area, a person who converted or was transformed, who willingly gave her life and her work and her will to the will of God. Yeah. Are we that type of person? Are we the type of people that we are willing to give our all to him? Mm-hmm. And in that, he uses that to transform not just us, but those who are connected to us. Right. So who are we helping to transform?
And they didn't even know it was the connection because it was necessary with her getting there. Ruth partnering with Naomi to transition there. You get connected with Boaz, it's the overflow, but because he got the wealth, got everything necessary. But Ruth's positioning and posture come from Naomi. Whatever it is that he saw in her is on a direct result of what Naomi put in her or what she's getting from it, glean. My dad say some stuff can't be taught, some stuff just got to be caught. So wherever it is, it wasn't just a lesson plan that she put together. And let's not overlook the other daughter-in-law that left, because there's one that left. Like whatever that is, I'm going back to where I know it's safe, secure. But then you can't blame her because I understand this path. I don't know where she going. You ain't got no protection. You ain't got no provision. This lady going back home.
I hope you make it, girl.
Child, I'm praying for y'all and keep moving. But that just goes to show you, notice she didn't tarry or try to make her come or make her be a part. It was just something about this girl, Ruth, that said, man, whatever that is, I'm trying to be don't associate with her. I know what this is. This is totally different from anything I ever experienced. And that's what it is about those connections. Not something that was forced, not something that was fostered, but it was something that God allowed to grow and be groomed into something that was graceful, that put her in the view of Boaz. This was crazy. He's sitting out
provision to put you where you needed to be
provided and protected.
Come on.
Yeah, it's something about it that it transitioned her, and that's that growth. And I think all of us ought to be looking at it. So when we say squad goals, the catch to this is to find those people who you can see God in and you can partner in. And there's nothing wrong with the other dialogue. Let's not say that because we're automated. It ain't mean she was sinful enough. She probably just wasn't meant to be part of that squad.
But it's the faithfulness and the love
Right.
and the commitment and the loyalty that is in excuse me, God, that's in root that we pulling out. Not to down the other people.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you embrace that, we learn that about life. Certain people are gonna be. We could really do a whole Bible study on disconnection. That disconnect was fine. She didn't do that the wrong way. Hey, listen, your son done passed. I'm no longer tied to this family like this. She gonna make the exit and go here. Nothing wrong with that, and that's what we have to learn in life. We have not learned how to properly disconnect, defriend, or whatever because of the environment. We stuck on show yourself friendly to get friends, but also the golden rule. Nobody ever tells you, well, what do you do when that time up? So evidently that transition for her, time was up. We could take a moment just to talk about that. How do you recognize and be discerning of spirits or sensitive in your spirit when time up for certain things? Because some stuff you don't supposed to hold on till you die. And that's what we have seen people doing time past. You done stayed somewhere so long. I'm talking to people, everything around you dead now. Like, but in your mind, God, he been left. He left when Naomi and them left. Yeah, you hold on to it. It's over. So when that comes, we need to be spiritually mature and say that season is up. We've been holding on to certain things so long till it didn't everything around you didn't die. And then you're dying within holding on to it.
Yeah, that's good. Something that I want you guys to do who are tuned in with us, I want you to do a circle check. And in your circle check, I want you to share one word for what you want from your faith circle.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it in the chat. Just one word that you want from your faith circle. If it's loyalty, if it's support, if it's a prayer partner, or whatever it is you want from your faith circle, put that in the group chat. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you a challenge this week. The thing that you say you want from your faith circle, make sure you also provide. Because more than anything, when we talk about squad goals, it's not about making people what we want them to be or making them be who we want them to be. It's about, well, number one, you do want to connect with the right people, but it's about being everything that we want so that we can get that in return.
Sure.
For me to want a loyal, faithful, supportive spouse or friend, I have to show myself loyal, faithful, trustworthy, right?
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't, it'd be difficult for you to be, I would think. Because if you wasn't, it would be difficult for me because I'd be like, well, hold up. We see it playing out all the time. Yeah. You may see, let's use relationship here. You may see a married couple. If the man cheats on the woman, okay, two can play that game. I'm gonna go do it too, because the loyalty, the trustworthiness, the honesty, it wasn't being reciprocated. Mm-hmm. So you have to work on you first and make sure that everything that you are saying you want from a friend, the squad goals, that you first.
Yeah, everybody on the team account.
Everybody on the team.
And then that's up to you to, sometimes you got to assess it like, hey, this is not that. And readjust it, reevaluate that. And there's growth in that, being honest. You know, even God say he prune those that produce fruit. You'll say, why in the world are you cutting stuff that's productive? Because there's more productivity or there's more growth there, but the cut is necessary. And we ought to be doing that pruning. We ought to be doing that same thing in our relationship. Sometimes it's time to cut back.
It's difficult though, because we feel bad. We feel tied to people because of sometimes religiosity. We feel tied to people because of that's my mama needs. You know, blood. It's supposed to be family. But what we're trying to do in life, we're trying to be more purposeful than anything. So it's gonna be okay to cut something. That don't mean you have to be mean or rude, not speak. That's where the problem coming. Then you acting funny. The person come around, he's like, oh, I don't know, should I speak? Like you running down the other aisle.
People transition from churches and then don't speak. It's so weird. Especially when
you
you're
don't have
all
to be weird
you're all
about
a
it.
part of the body of Christ, and then just transitioning too, learning how to do that well. Like I was telling you, we parenting different now. We got a kid in Japan. It's not like calling him out of the room. You know, for the first couple months, we was just randomly calling Trey ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, miss them because you're so used to it. But now it's different. We got to get on the phone or WhatsApp. He a day ahead of us in time, so that's it. So the big baby now, you got to parent him different than you would if he was there. Do that change me being his father, you being his mother? No. It's just that relationship has changed. So the dynamics of it changed. So I had to, but what about you the baby? Them people like you about to do it at the airport. Man, if this man, you don't let this man get on the plane, it's gonna be a problem.
Listen, we ain't gonna chase that squirrel.
So growth. But the reason why I was saying that because what you were saying about transition, people will hate it and you'll just destroy something and not knowing they have blossomed into something else. But I want it this way, and if I don't have it this way, I just won't even fool with you no more. That ain't a healthy way. Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a couple questions to get us through the Ruth and Naomi because I want us to see the importance of the relationship. At this point, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you put this video out if you're watching. We haven't said that, and then listen to the teacher give you questions. She's about to jump on questions on y'all. It's the teacher part of her. Okay. Number one, how does Ruth's commitment to Naomi reflect God's love?
Oh, me? You asked me? I thought you asked me.
I'm the teacher. I asked you the question.
Oh, wow. I thought you were talking to your students. I am teacher and me and myself. Nah, you said how do Naomi love?
Ruth's commitment to Naomi reflect God's love.
Ruth's commitment to Naomi reflect God's love. I would say it's vice versa. Naomi commitment to Ruth love kind of shows God because she's
Ruth was the daughter. We keep mixing up the old.
That's what I'm saying. But you said in reverse. How do her love reflect God's love? That's what you said.
How does Ruth's commitment to Naomi reflect God's love?
It'd be vice versa. Naomi commitment to Ruth. But I got you. I'm finna help you. I got you. Because we will be Ruth in this picture as the people of God. We're Ruth. Okay. He's Naomi because he said standing. So that shows God's commitment to love us in spite of us and in spite of our situation, that growth. With her saying, regardless of your circumstance, I can see the God in you. Meaning for us as people of God, even though we're in a dark place, we ought to be able to see God operating and still trust them in spite of this dark moment. So that's another don't discount the darkness moment, that even in this dark moment, I'm going to trust that the next couple moves that you're going to make, even though it's bad right now, I'm trusting that where you're going is going to be better than where we are now because I trust the God in you that's leading you. And that's the system that we got to be plugged into. Part of the squad. We got to be connected to people that we're trusting them on the journey. Now, I did everything perfect. Though. That's a horrible situation to be in. Everybody did. Like, it's bad. And it's a family. We overlooked that, too. It's a family, too. So now, provision, protection gone. And then it ain't no resources because the family ate up everything.
Yeah. That's a good perspective. But you did it from Naomi's commitment to Ruth. Mm-hmm. And I do want to look at Ruth's commitment because Ruth was the daughter-in-law. Mm-hmm. Ruth did not have to stay. Yeah. Ruth did not have to commit to her. Ruth did not have to go to her land with her people and her God, but she chose to anyway. It paints a picture of how God loves us, right? That regardless of what the situation looks like, regardless of what we say and do, He still provision, like you said. He still stays committed to us. He's always there, regardless of where all the twists and turns in life. He's always there.
Yeah, connected to us.
He is committed to us, even when we fail to commit to Him. Because I'm sure Naomi was like, "Girl, go on and just be with your people and just let me just grow old and die. You go, you young, you can be married, you can have kids, go live your life." So any good mother-in-law would say, go do what's best for your life, right? That's her pushing her away or trying to. Just like us, when we push God away or when we try to push God away, He's still there. Never fails. Yeah. We sung the song, I sought the Lord and He heard and He answered. It's always there, never fails. Jesus never fails. That's what Ruth's commitment to Naomi, that's what I see, because she was determined to stay with her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with you because there's something about you. There's something in you. There's something about this God that you serving that I need in my life.
Right.
So I'm a stick and stay. But I do like your perspective. It's good.
Thank you.
That's why we
Thank
talk.
you, Rabbi.
That's why we talk the way we do, because it helps us to grow.
That's it.
So I want to ask you guys, who in your life has been a Ruth to you?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who stayed by your side no matter what. Who have you been a Ruth to in this life? Have you stayed by somebody's side? Have you prayed someone through? Has someone been able to look at your life and see the light?
Yeah.
And that light is so bright that they say, I want that in my life. I want to serve the God you serve because of what I see in you. Mm-hmm. Do they see the God in you? I want you to chew on that for a little while, and you can put it in the chat. But at the very least, even if you don't put it in the chat, think about that. Who have you been Ruth to, and who in your life has been Ruth or is being Ruth to you, and nurture those relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some ways we can be the kind of friend Ruth is? Some practical ways. Because we're saying, well, who finna get up and leave? Who finna move from Shreveport to Dallas talking about being a good friend? So let's talk more practically so that we can help navigate through life. What are some ways that we can be a Ruth kind of friend?
Sharing this post every time we post on Sundays, you could be a good Ruth. No, being consistent in the people's lives that God had placed in your charge. I mean, there's certain people God had placed around you, whether you want it or not. We got co-workers, we got friends, some people that showed up here today that we got a chance to meet. I mean, it's just certain people that it's almost like they family. Like, even though they be nerve-wracking sometimes or pulling on you sometimes, like, man, what in the world? We don't even have them. Where they come from? But the thing is, you got to understand what role is that. Is that your Ruther? Is that a Naomi situation? And then certain people in Naomi, like yesterday, had that conversation, not to get into the details. I was trying to person, they was like, oh, well, I said, nah, honestly, I took off because I value this connection. Yeah. That person mentioned money. This is not about money. This is just building a relationship. That's Naomi. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no use of me handling Naomi like she Ruth. No, this is a Naomi situation. And so let me be the Ruth that I need to be. Love, loyalty, respect, humble. That's the role. And sometimes you got to understand what role you playing in there. Oh, this is an opportunity to sit here and talk to this person that's on this level that you desiring to be on. Let's understand it. And then let's acknowledge it. And then on back end, not again. They call it. That's now I got to deal with Ruth. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm sliding. It's a sliding scale for all of us because in different relationships, you interchanging roles. Sometimes you're Naomi, and sometimes you Ruth. Sometimes you need that person to connect to, but then vice versa. Sometimes you're the light for that person to connect to. So that's what you got to realize.
For me, I would say accountability. Yeah. I think Ruth telling Naomi, listen, your people not teaching. Your God, my God now. Where you go, I go. I think it had to have shape in her. Girl, get yourself together. Like, she said she's going to go and help you. Now you don't have to be alone. Now you got somebody y'all can work together to get things done, to live, so that you can have provision and protection or whatever it is you need. You got somebody right here with you. I feel like Ruth saying that has a measure of accountability. Like, hey, I'm looking at the God in you. Recognize who he is in you, right? So that we can navigate this journey together. Because, like I done told you, whether you want me to or not, I'm coming. Yeah. I'm on my way. I'm with you. Oh, we have 8 minutes left.
Good.
So I think having, for me, I would really like to work on this a whole lot more. But a way that I can be a Ruth to someone is, of course, I want to stay loyal and committed to the relationship, right? But I want to be an accountability partner. and I want it to work twofold.
Yeah.
Because I want us to be able to keep each other encouraged.
Yeah.
I want us to be able to pray each other through, to be a listening ear for each other, so that when we are in those dark spaces, other people see our light when we can't even see it.
Yeah.
I want other people to continue to see your light. I don't want you to let your light die out or dim because you're in that dark space right now.
Yeah.
I want us to kind of just grow through it together.
Now, I'm not sure if you're saying it like this, but I want to say something that I think you ought to look at. Ruth, Naomi is not obligated to treat Ruth the way Ruth is treating her. I think that's something we mess up too. Like, it's to acknowledge the role. Like, your mama don't have to treat the daughter. You the daughter. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The mama, you got to understand the roles. It's not vice versa. Like, it ought to be the same. Because, no. Acknowledge what that is. Just like I said yesterday. No, I took out work. I'm being inconvenienced. I'm driving. I'm the one. Because, you ought to meet me halfway. It's like 15 miles. You come 15 miles. We meet in the middle. No, you ain't the Naomi. You the Ruth. So the Ruth, you go get uncomfortable to make this connection. She got your God should be my God. Wherever you go, I'm going to get uncomfortable. Nah, we're going to meet in the middle. There you go. So it's the roles, and understand what roles you playing in that. And I think that'll transition, because we got a group of people that think all things equal. No, it's balance in there. And that's the divine order that God put in place on purpose. So when you have that, when you talk about squad goals, look in your squad and see who the Ruth and the Naomi. And you got some people that are Naomi and you playing like you Ruth. No, I just told you that the other day. Like, in this situation, I'm not getting uncomfortable for that. Well, you don't want nobody. No, think what you want to think. Think what you want to think. You think, no, because in this situation, I understand my role. You're not going to make me uncomfortable about my role. Naomi didn't say, please, Ruth, please, you go with me. Because she don't need her to go with her. Like, she going to a better place regardless. Now, you could choose to go with me or not. She didn't even ask. It's Ruth that acknowledge where she's going, and she partnered with her. Vice versa, what we try to do, if we was in Naomi's shoes, we would talk to the girl, please don't leave. It's better if we go over here. Just follow me. She didn't do all that. She hold her position. Ruth acknowledged her position, and then she went with her. And then afterwards, she was blessed because of it. And that's what we need to realize. Hey, what role is this? And that's what we got messed up in ministry. We got that messed up on the job. We got that messed up all the way around. In military, it's rank structure. It's certain things that should be held honorable, loyal, faithful, committed, because it's just the role. I don't expect this person to do the same thing, because they got a Naomi somewhere. You know what I'm saying? They my Naomi, they got a Naomi. Yeah. So I understand it. Yeah. So to me, I don't even know if that's where you're going with it, but that's how I'm looking at it. Like, no, you understand it. Then it's a respect thing.
I think a lot of the times when we read the Bible or we look at Bible stories, our perspective sometimes is based off of what we are experiencing in life at that moment. And
then we always the good person. We ain't never Judas. We ain't never the pilot. We ain't never the bad person.
No, I don't want to be bad person.
We ain't never downtown to none of that.
Now, I have been downtown.
Okay.
I was nervous. I was scared, and fear crept in, and all the things. But people don't be liking Jesus, so we never gonna admit to being a Jesus.
I done been Judas. I think all of us been Judas. Okay.
Most of us probably have, but most of us do not admit, because we be like, we're gonna betray our Lord. So. All right, guys, we are gonna continue this month talking about squad goals. We are taking biblical stories. We know they happen, but we call them Bible stories. Anyways, we're gonna take those Bible stories and we're gonna use those to help us see a pattern. We should be seeing a pattern, because my mom used to tell me there's nothing new under the sun. Same stuff that happened in the Bible days is happening now. It's just according to the culture, we're in the 21st century. It's a different time. Things are gonna happen differently, but ain't nothing new up under the sun.
True.
Nothing new is happening. So same thing that happened then is still happening now, and we want to take the lessons. Remember last week we were talking about, if we don't have to bump our head, but I can learn and grow and do better and live a better life off of the bump you already had, let me do that. So Ruth and Naomi have laid out a part of our squad goals by showing us what faithfulness looks like in friendship and loyalty and commitment and love. And it also reflects the love of God, because God took a foreigner and used her, not just to bless herself, but to bless those who were connected to us.
Talk about it.
Is God going to use you to bless yourself and those who are connected to you? If you can't see that, then you need to do a self-analysis and reevaluate yourself and look at how you, the parts of you that are Naomi, the parts of you that are Ruth, and how you can be better in your friendships and your relationships so that you can be everything that God has called you to be. Guys, we want to say thank you for tuning in and sharing with us. This is not the end. It is only the beginning. We had our third free lunch service today.
It's the first of the month.
Wake up, wake up.
Get your praise and come on.
Get up, get up.
Yeah, every first of the month, first Sunday of the month, we're having our service. We had our third one today.
Yeah,
and we did a good
I
job.
Feel like we had a good service.
We had a couple of glitches.
We had some glitches, but listen, when I tell you God was still in the room, he still showed up and showed out. We had a good time. I feel like we're kind of dragging. Yeah. I went because the last month after our service, I was so tired. Like I went to sleep. So I went and got a nod so I can be prepared for the day and left it. Like I've been leaving everything.
You better drink it because you ain't done yet.
Oh my.
She got to cook for her brother.
Bless his heart. Because I don't know where you're going with that. Again, thank you guys for tuning in and sharing with us. Don't forget to drop in the chat. We're going to check the chat a little bit later today, and we're going to respond to you guys. If you would like to give, to sow, to help us grow and continue to do the things that we are doing in ministry and with this Bible study, you can do so. We have Givelify. Look up Impact Church DFW. You will see our picture. You can go to Cash App, ICANN365. Again, thank you for your contributions, your prayers, and your participation in making this ministry and this Bible study grow.
That's it. We grace. We love you. Grace and peace. Thank you for tuning in.